Hey guys, and welcome back to another tips and tricks video for Friday the 13th. In this video we'll be talking about the speed shift. So here's a brief description of what the speed shift is. What you're doing with the speed shift is canceling the startup animation for the regular shift so that you go into your shift right away instead of having to deal with the small shift startup delay when using the regular shift. It's important to note when using the speed shift, you're technically not going any faster than you normally would in your shift. You're just canceling the shift startup animation so that you go into your shift right away and get to where you're wanting to go sooner. So why call it speed shifting if you're not going any faster in your shift? Well, it's just kind of a flashy name that the F13 community started calling it, and it seems to be a name that's sticking for it. So first up, I'm just going to show you what the speed shift looks like from the counselor's point of view, so you know what it looks like when someone's using it. So without further ado, let's jump right into this week's video. So this is what speed shifting looks like from the counselor's point of view. You'll see Jason shift, but there is no delay. He goes into his shift right away, and you'll notice that you see Jason in his shift for a short period of time. This happens every time someone is speed shifting, and it gives the appearance that Jason is shifting super fast because you see him in his shift. But he's not. That's his regular shift speed. It's only because you see him in his shift that it gives the appearance of him going super fast.
Damn it, just die!
Here's a side-by-side, regular shift on the right and the speed shift on the left. Let's slow this down and take a closer look in the next clip. See the delay with the regular shift and how there is no delay for the speed shift? Watch this clip back a few times and you'll really start to notice the difference and see the benefit of using the speed shift. Now for our information segment. I'm going to show you the controls you'll need to know to be able to do the speed shift. You press R1 and square to activate your shift, then you release both of them and quickly hold R1 and push your left analog stick forward to do a speed shift. One thing I wanted to mention, you have to do those controls kind of quickly for the speed shift to work. I suggest going into offline play and just practicing and trying to do those controls as quickly as you can. So now that we know the controls to do the speed shift, I'm going to show you some examples of me using it while playing as Jason and give you an idea of how I utilize this technique. Pre-aiming like this person is doing puts you at a disadvantage. You're telling me what your intentions are and giving me a chance to counter it. It's even worse when someone is speed shifting because they can get to you even faster and you'll have less time to react. Normally from this distance, if you were to use the regular shift, the counselor would have ample time to react and get out of the way. But with the speed shift, you're able to go into your shift right away, and because of that, the counselor's reaction time won't be as good, and sometimes you're able to catch them off guard. Close range coupled with speed shifting is a deadly combination because it doesn't give the player that's playing as a counselor much time to react because you're shifting right away and you're able to close in on them quicker, as you can see in this clip. This Tommy wanted his axe back, so I baited him into going for it by walking away from it. Then I used the speed shift to close in on him quicker. Had I been using the regular shift, I probably wouldn't have gotten the grab. Here's a Tommy Jarvis standing in the doorway being a little overconfident, and I make him pay for it, and now he has to say goodbye to his pocket knife.
Jason, my boy, do you know what your gift is?
Now for another information segment. When you press up on the D-pad, it will open up the scoreboard. Off to the right you'll see numbers. Those numbers are your ping. Ping is measured in milliseconds. That's what MS stands for. If your ping has a lower white number, it means you have a good connection. If your numbers are higher and the color is yellow or red, it means your connection isn't good and you'll experience lag while playing. It's important to note that on a yellow ping you have to wait a tiny bit longer than on a white ping to press R1 when using the speed shift. So on yellow ping you do the combination of R1 and square and pause for a second or two before hitting R1 again. If you don't do this and you try to do those controls too fast on yellow ping, then speed shifting won't work. So that's something you want to keep in mind if your connection is in the yellow numbers. Another information segment. You'll see Jason's left foot is on the same rock to mark the starting point of our shift. On the side-by-side, the regular shift is on the left and the speed shift is on the right. See that lantern on top of the tree stump? I'm using that landmark to demonstrate the extra distance you're getting out of your shift when you use the speed shift. You can clearly see the extra distance you're getting out of your shift when you look at Jason's distance from that landmark, and this is just another reason why you would want to use the speed shift over the regular shift. Here are just some examples of me using the speed shift to get some extra distance out of my shift. It's nice to have that peace of mind that you're getting a little more out of your shift than you regularly would, and it gives you that confidence to go after counselors that are further away. In this clip, someone set off my trap. I look over and I see the sound rings they're making, so I know they're over there fixing the car. It would be a mistake to waste my morph just to get over there when I can use my speed shift with the extra distance. If I used the regular shift, I might have come up short just a little. I'm not sure about that, but with the extra distance you get out of your shift while speed shifting, it gave me the confidence to go for it. Here's another information segment. This technique I'm about to show you is called third-person shifting. It's a form of speed shifting in a way because just like the speed shift, it cancels the shift startup animation. To do third-person shifting, you press L1, then you press circle, then you press R1 plus square, release both, and press R1 and push up on your left analog stick. Now let me explain the controls. When you press L1 you pull out your throwing knife, then when you press circle you cancel your throwing knife, and right after that you activate your shift by pressing R1 plus square, and when you do this quickly it puts you into third person shifting. Then you release R1 and square, and quickly press R1 and push your left analog stick forward to skip the startup shift animation. It's important to note that my commentary doesn't match up perfectly with what you're seeing on screen. I tried to get it as close as possible so it matched up, but it's not perfect. So just be aware that I'm doing these controls faster than I'm explaining them. I gotta give a shout out to Adam Barker. He left me a comment on one of my videos telling me about third person shifting a while ago. He mentioned I should try it out, and I'm glad he did because it's a pretty cool technique. You guys should check out his YouTube channel. He plays a lot of different games over on his channel, and I recommend you guys check him out. His links are down below in the description. Now that we know the controls to do third-person shifting, I thought I would show you guys some examples of this technique being utilized. So let's jump right into it and take a look at some examples. With third-person shifting, it gives you a different perspective and a lot wider view of your surroundings, which can make things a little easier. If you're going up against a counselor that has good juking skills, sometimes third-person shifting can come in handy because of the wider view. You're able to track them a little better with all the twists and turns they make. Like I said earlier, another good thing about third-person shifting is that it cancels the shift startup, which comes in handy sometimes. One thing I wanted to mention that I should have mentioned earlier about the speed shift is that you can pre-hold your left analog stick forward while you're walking or running depending on the Jason, and just hit R1 square to shift, then release and quickly hold R1 and you'll go right into your speed shift. Hey guys, as you can see, there's going to be a name change for this technique. When I first started out making this video, people were calling this technique speed shift, like you've heard me calling it throughout this video. I was working away on the video and had about half the video finished when there were conversations circling that the name should be changed from speed shift to something else more appropriate, as the name speed shift doesn't represent what the technique is all about. For me to have gone back in and edit everything would have been such a hassle, so instead here's just a heads up that the new name for the technique is now called the no startup shift technique. If you're going to refer to this technique, use that name from here on out. So that wraps up another video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and find this technique useful. I just wanted to give a shout out to Toxic Viper and Tommy86 for their suggestions and their overall help. And if you like my content, subscribe to stay up to date with future tips and tricks videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.